Entitled parent thinks I owe her my seat because didn't book a ticket for her child. This was couple years ago, but I can't get it out my head, so I thought I'd share here. Okay, to start with story. My family lived across the country back then, so I would usually buy a flight to get there. Well, this was during the holidays, so everything was backed up and there was a lot of storms. So when I got to my first layover, my flight was canceled and they couldn't get in their system to get me a hotel, so I slept on the airport floor that night clutching all my bags. By the time I got onto the plane, I had spent 24 hours in the airport. Luckily for this flight, I had booked first class. So I get on the plane and get comfy, and I'm just so happy that I'll be home soon after the last couple days I had. When a really nice flight attendant comes over and points at the empty seat next to me and mine, and tells me a mother forgot to book her toddler ticket and she was wondering if they could take my seat. And the empty seat next to me. I told that I'm sorry, but I've had a really long day and I paid extra for this, I would like to stay. The flight attendant was very nice and said no problem. But she let the woman come sit in the empty seat next to me with her toddler on her lap. She immediately looks at me with a scowl and says, "I can't believe you wouldn't trade your seat for a kid," and simply tell her, "Ma'am, I paid extra for this seat, you should have booked him a ticket, this isn't my fault." Then she keeps going off saying things under breath and to her toddler like I can't hear her. And then she tells her kid to make the most noise he can do whatever he wants. And she keeps saying things to me, and I can't believe this entitled woman. I finally lash out and said, "Will you shut the fuck up?" I'm not proud of myself for this, but with the last couple days I didn't care anymore. But my common sense came back and I apologized for swearing in front of her kid. Even though I heard her call me a bitch and many other words. Again, the women wouldn't shut up. And finally my savior came. That really nice flight attendant came over and bent down to the woman's level and said, "Ma'am, you were lucky to be able to switch seats, and all I've heard from you since you switched is you threatening this woman and telling your child to be noisy. This plane hasn't left yet and we have no problem kicking you off this flight, and if continue to do this while we're in the air you will be banned." I couldn't help but smile. She finally shut up and I was so glad that I had downloaded Sex Life on Netflix so I could finish my steamy show right in front of her. Edit. For people asking, I'm assuming the child was under the age of 2, just a big baby. If your child is under 2, you can fly with them on your lap instead buying them a seat ticket. I'm assuming this what the women did and was hoping she'd get an extra seat. I hope that clears some things up. Sorry. Edit 2. For those asking, I'm guessing most people on the plane came from a cancelled flights as well. The plane was smaller than the last plane I was originally supposed to go on. I don't know if that was the reason she needed a seat for her kid or not. I don't know why they didn't just switch the grandma to first class, but I'm guess the flight attendant asked if one of them wanted to switch and the mom was the one who took the opportunity. Again, I don't know if this was the thought process, but it makes the most sense to me.